2023. I call this meeting to order and ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Trustee Daney? Gansey? Here. Gunstein?
Here.
Hopkins?
Here.
Laporte? Absent. Sawansky? Here. President Wallace?
Here. We've requested Pastor Dean Anen from Village Church of Bartlett do our invocation this evening. Thank you for being here tonight, Pastor.
Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for the amazing privilege that we have in this place of Bartlett and in this country where we can come, we can assemble, and we can express our views to seek what is right and good together in your eyes. Lord, we thank you for our mayor, for the trustees, for our administration, for fire, for the police, for all of the leaders, God, who protect us and serve us. We ask, God, that you would give them a special measure of your grace and wisdom tonight, that they would listen well and do what is right and fair in your eyes. We pray that this great city of Bartlett would be known as a fair and a just community, a community where all are welcome, where peace reigns, and where justice reigns. So, God, as we act here tonight as neighbors, recognizing everyone here is made in your image, we ask that we would seek together what is your will. And we pray these things in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor. Now the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Trustee Laporte is joined.
All right, just a note for the record, Trustee Laporte is joined via Zoom. Got a packed house this evening, so we'll get this moving. I'm sure most of you guys just want to be here for a short amount of time, unlike us. Brings us to our consent agenda this evening. All items listed with an asterisk will be enacted in one motion. There'll be no separate discussion on the items that are on the consent agenda. That being said, would anyone like to add or remove anything from the consent this evening?
Nope.
Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent this evening, which will include the board and committee minutes from February 7, 2023. The consent tonight will also include bills list from February 21st, 2023. The consent this evening will also include the following items under standing committee reports. Item A1, B2, C2, D1, and F1.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Trustee Daney, seconded by Trustee Sawansky. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Gansey?
Yes.
Gunstein?
Yes.
Hopkins?
Yes.
Laporte?
Yes.
Sawansky?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
That motion carries. Moving on to the Treasurer's report. Mr. Treasurer.
Thank you. In your package for tonight is the Treasurer's report for the month of December. Also is the sales tax report. We did receive $316,040, up just about $2,000 from the prior year. As far as MFT tax, we received $160,435. That was about $7,000 up from the prior year, so picking up a little bit. And we've also included the income tax for the LGTF fund, showing that we received $4,490,000 at the reduced just over 6%. So that is it for the Treasurer's report, unless there's any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Treasurer. Moving on to the President's report this evening. We have a busy night. The first item on the President's report is National Night Out, which I think that big, strong, crazy guy in the back is part of National Night Out. So I will turn it over to, I believe, probably Chief Callis.
Thank you, Board. Tonight's a special occasion. It's the presentation of the National Night Out Award. And with us tonight is going to be our crime prevention team, Tracy Denninger and Officer Anderson, as well as Sergeant Greg Milos, and a special guest, Nat the Knight.
So our trophy this year is about the size of the Stanley Cup.
All right.
So Bartlett's National Night Out was once again a huge success. In our category, we took first place out of 22 cities nationwide for the second straight year. This is the first time in history this has happened, folks. This achievement was a community effort. What is great about National Night Out is that it allows us to continue to foster invaluable partnerships with the residents, businesses, and organizations in the community. So the community showed up in record numbers to all of our National Night Out events, including our Dog Walker Watch Summer Social, the Touch a Truck and Car Seat event, our Family Fun Night, Skate Park Bash, and Pool Party, over 18 different block parties and family golf events, and of course, the grand finale, our picnic in the park. The Bartlett Police Department would like to thank the Village Board of Trustees and Mayor Wallace for your continued support and generosity in organizing this successful event that impacts our community on such an elite level. It would not be complete without a special thanks to the Village Administration, the Bartlett Park District, the Bartlett Fire Protection District, Bartlett Hills Golf Club, and all of our volunteers and vendors who made this event possible and unlike any other town around us. Lastly, I thank our crime prevention team, Officers Vicki Anderson and Tracy Denninger. They truly worked tirelessly all year round to make sure each family had a fantastic experience at National Night Out. It is their hard work and dedication that continues to carry on this tradition, in which we all see the community come together in solidarity. These officers are the masterminds behind the scenes, and they truly represent the Bartlett way. Believe it or not, this was our 29th National Night Out event for Bartlett. The Big 30 is coming up soon. Our next National Night Out event will kick off on July 15th with the annual Touch a Truck and Car Seat event, and will end on August 1st with our epic picnic in the park. So we hope to see you all there as we hope to achieve a three-peat like the Chicago Bulls of the 90s.
Yay.
All of us?
Yeah, let's all get down here. Come on. Well done. Good job, everyone. Leave this up here.
Yeah, put it up there.
We're going to put it
Put it up here?
Yeah.
Trust it near me.
When I do my part,
Say, Kevin.
can I just read,
Night Out Cup presented to Bartlett, Illinois.
like, read up to here, and then say, and then say what is amendments, right?
I wonder how many people we had in the park. Do we know, Chief?
I don't think, you could turn it over to Brian. He can explain.
Quite a bit, Mayor. I would say
An amendment
easily
to that.
2,000 to 4,000 people.
2,000 to 4,000, that's what I was thinking when we were there.
And we're very blessed to have the support of the Village Board, Village Administration, more importantly, all the residents, civic groups.
Then we had him.
Yeah,
And that's what makes Bartlett so special.
yes, it was great. Good job. Excellent. Next we have, I believe there's some people in the crowd that are interested in the next part of the President's report. Let's see here. Recognition of Girl Scouts Bronze and Silver Awards. So, here, easier. I got all this right. So on behalf of the Village of Bartlett, I send my sincere congratulations to the following young ladies who worked hard to make a difference in our community. This is the Girl Scouts of Northern Illinois Troop 1132. These girls are in 8th grade and recently completed their Silver Award. This award is second in the progression of projects eventually leading to the Gold Award, which they have the option to earn as a high schooler. The Gold Award is similar to the Eagle Scout ranking in the Boy Scouts. For the Silver Project, these girls had to work together as a team and put in 50 hours towards a project to better their community in an area they are passionate about. The first group of 3 girls chose the topic of animal shelters. They planned and hosted an event for younger Girl Scouts in our area to teach them about animals in shelters. They made tug toys and dog treats to donate. They also hosted a donation drive and partnered with Walmart to host a booth and asked patrons for donations. They also volunteered at the animal shelter themselves. These ladies are Claire Robinson, Katie Salzwiedel, was that good? Salzwiedel? And Sophia Ambrose. Can you stand up and be recognized? We'll get a group photo when I'm done blabbing here. The second group of 4 girls chose the topic of foster children. They partnered with a local foster closet and researched their needs and came up with ways they could help. They worked with the Bartlett Library to organize a donation drive. They worked with the student council at Eastview Middle School and got approval to host a donation drive at their school. They assisted with Foster Closet with organizing and sorting donations. They also worked a booth at Walmart to spread the word about how foster children need our help and collected donations there. Lastly, they are just wrapping up a donation drive at Carroll Stream Library. Their resilience, dedication, and passion for their cause is very inspiring. And these ladies are Rachel Cropper, Isabella Nelson, Arushi Mehta, Adelaide Wheeler. Can you stand up and recognize? The Girl Scouts of Northern Illinois Troop 994. These girls are 6th grade and received and completed their Bronze Award. This award is the first in the progression of projects eventually leading to the Gold Award. For the Bronze project, these girls had to work together as a team and put in 20 hours towards a project to better their community in an area they are passionate about. They worked with their elementary school and put on a supply drive. They created a video sharing how Jared boxes help kids in hospitals and hosted a donation drive. They sorted and created Jared boxes and delivered them to the local hospital. These young ladies are Quinn Salzwiedel and Molly Paulson. Congratulations, ladies. If you guys could all come up, we'll get a picture with the board real quick.
Let's all stand for all the girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're supposed to.
Here.
Great
Yes.
job, ladies.
Great job, ladies. All right, thank you, ladies.
Congratulations. Yeah, no kidding.
Next item we have this evening is appointments to Economic Development Commission and the Planning and Zoning Commission. So we're starting off with the Economic Development Commission. The first one we have here is a one-year term. With the advice and consent of the village board, I would like to appoint Bruce Suffern to a one-year term on the Economic Development Commission beginning February 21st, 2023, and ending February 21st, 2024. And entertain a motion to concur the appointment.
So moved.
Second. Moved by Trustee Daney, second by Trustee Gunstein. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Gunstein?
Yes.
Hopkins?
Yes.
Laporte?
Yes.
Swansky?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
The motion carries. Thank you for your support and willingness to serve, Bruce. Next, we have Planning and Zoning Commission. With the advice and consent of the village board, I'll be appointing John Batterman to a 2-year term on the Planning and Zoning Commission beginning February 21st, 2023, and ending February 21st, 2025. I'll entertain a motion to concur the appointment of John Batterman to the Planning and Zoning Commission for a 2-year term.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Trustee Daney, seconded by trustee Gansey.
Mm-hmm.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Hopkins?
Yes.
Laporte?
Yes.
Swansky?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
Gunstein?
Yes. That motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Banderman, for your willingness to serve. Next, we have Bike and Run Advisory Committee. With the advice and consent of the board, of the village board, I reappoint Barry Krall to serve as a 2-year term on the Bike and Run Advisory Committee beginning February 21st, 2023 and expiring February 21st, 2025. I'd entertain a motion to occur the reappointment of Barry Krall.
So moved. Second.
Moved by trustee Daney, seconded by trustee Gunstein. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Laporte?
Yes.
Swansky?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
Gunstein?
Yes.
Hopkins?
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you for your service, Barry. Next, we have a 3-year term. With the advice and consent of the village board, I reappoint Dan Palmer to serve a 3-year term on the Bike and Run Advisory Committee beginning February 21st, 2023 and expiring February 21st, 2026. I'll entertain a motion to concur the reappointment of Dan Palmer.
So moved.
Second. Moved by trustee Swansky, seconded by trustee Hopkins. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Swansky?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
Gunstein?
Yes.
Hopkins?
Yes.
Laporte?
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you, Dan, for your willingness to serve. I know you're one of the avid bikers out there, so it's a good idea to do that. I think pretty soon we're going to be appointing another person to your committee and sitting in the front row, Jay. Thank you for your willingness to serve, too. With the advice and consent of the village board, I reappoint John Getz to serve a 3-year term on the Bike and Run Advisory Committee beginning February 21st, 2023 and expiring February 21st, 2026. I'll entertain a motion to concur the reappointment of John Getz.
So moved.
Second. Moved by trustee Daney, seconded by trustee Hopkins. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
Gunstein?
Yes.
Hopkins?
Yes.
Laporte?
Yes.
Swansky?
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you for your willingness to serve, Mr. Getz. Next, we have Economic Development Commission, a 2-year term. With the advice and consent of the village board, I will be reappointing Adam Lewinsky to serve a 2-year term on the Economic Development Commission beginning February 21st, 2023 and expiring February 21st, 2025. I'll entertain a motion to occur the reappointment of Adam Lewinsky.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by trustee Daney, seconded by trustee Gansey. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Gansey?
Yes.
Gunstein?
Yes.
Hopkins?
Yes.
Laporte?
Yes.
Swansky?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
Thank you. The motion carries. Thank you, Adam, for your willingness to serve. We have a 3-year term on the Economic Development Commission. With the advice and consent of the village board, I'll reappoint Kirsten Erickson to serve a 3-year term on Economic Development Commission beginning February 21st, 2023 and expiring February 21st, 2026. I'll entertain a motion to concur the reappointment of Kirsten Erickson.
So moved. Second.
Moved by trustee Daney, seconded by trustee Gunstein. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Gunstein?
Yes.
Hopkins?
Yes.
Laporte?
Yes.
Swansky?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
That motion carries. Another 3-year term of reappointment with the advice and consent of the village board. I'll be reappointing Gerald Cabasco to serve a 3-year term on the Economic Development Commission beginning February 21st, 2023 and expiring February 21st, 2026. And entertain a motion to concur.
So moved.
Moved.
Second.
Okay.
Moved by trustee Swansky, seconded by trustee Gansey. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Hopkins?
Yes.
Laporte?
Yes.
Swansky?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
Gunstein?
Yes.
That motion carries. And finally, another final 3-year term. With the advice and consent of the board, the village board, I'll reappoint Robert Perry to serve a 3-year term in the Economic Development Commission beginning February 21st, 2023 and expiring February 21st, 2026. I'll entertain a motion to concur that reappointment.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by trustee Daney, seconded by trustee Hopkins. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Laporte?
Yes.
Swansky?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
Gunstein?
Yes.
Hopkins?
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Perry, for your willingness to serve. I see Kirsten's here, too. Thank you, Kirsten, for your willingness to serve. Really appreciate your support for the village and your input. And that concludes the appointments and reappointments for the president's report. Does anybody have any questions for staff?
I just want to say a couple things here first. We just had the reappointment of commissioners, and I served on the Plan Commission for a good number of years. Started in 1981, and It ended when I was elected trustee in 2015, so I've been around the block a little bit, so to speak. So I know the time and effort.
You've been around more than the block, like all the blocks.
Yeah, I've just about hit every neighborhood in the village of Bartlett. But, no, I realize and I appreciate, so does the board, the entire village appreciates all the time and effort that you put in and time that you miss your family for that. But one of the things that happened just recently, Jerry Callis, Plan Commission member, passed away. And on behalf of the village of Bartlett, I would like to say a few words, or read a few words, actually, in memory of former trustee and my friend, longtime Plan Commissioner Jerry Callis, who passed away on February 12th. Jerry and his wife, this is amazing because I wasn't in the village yet, but Jerry and his wife, Patricia, moved to Bartlett in 1974. We came here in 76. During the years he was raising a family here, Jerry was actively involved in his children's soccer activities and was a member of Wayne Elementary School PTA. He also served on the Apple Orchard Homeowners Association. In 1977, when he was supervisor of accounting at First National Bank of Chicago, Jerry believed that his accounting background would serve the village of Bartlett well, and he ran to fill a 2-year term as trustee. At the time of the election, the population of Bartlett was 3,500. So that was in 77, and 3,500 people. I thought it was a little higher than that, but 3,500 people is amazing. As a village trustee, he worked on the village's master plan and the purchase of Bartlett Hills Golf Club. And I'm so happy that that's part of our village now. Yeah, we all know that. Jerry was appointed to the Village of Bartlett Plan Commission in June of 1989 and served until early 2012. He was then reappointed in July of 2014 and concluded his 29-year service as a Plan Commissioner in April 2022. While on the Plan Commission, he reviewed plans for Bartlett High School, as well as a new Village Hall and Police Department building. He also made recommendations for commercial developments along Route 59 and within Brewster Creek Business Park and Blue Heron and Bluff City Industrial Parks. Although Jerry was a frequent proponent of limiting home density in the village, his length of civic service gave him a front row seat to the residential growth that occurred in DuPage County during the 1990s. Jerry Callis is loved and remembered by his wife Patricia, his children, Jeff, Michelle, and Jason, and his grandsons, Lucas and Ben. And he will forever be honored and appreciated in Bartlett for his exceptional service to our community. Visitations for Jerry will be at Bartlett Countryside on February 24th from 9:30 to 11:45, followed by services at St. Peter Damien at 12:30. So with that, if we could just have a moment of silence. Okay, thank you all. And Jerry probably would object to that, but
Thank you, Trustee Daney, and certainly thank Jerry's family for all his service to our village.
And I'd like to recognize Tony Fraden. I got this email today from Paula, and it was addressed to Scott, and the efforts that he put forth in bringing all these to our village. This is from Tony, this is written to Scott from Craig Lillibridge, who's first vice president of the Realty Transaction Services.
Aldi's broker.
Aldi's broker, yeah, thank you. He said, I want to let you know the Aldi development of Streets of Bartlett is finally coming to fruition. It's taken forever. Thank you. So I want to reach out and thank you and Bartlett staff for getting us to that point. That said, it is important to note how instrumental Tony Fraden has been during this entire process. Truth be told, I first met Tony at the Streets of Bartlett with Gorski's back in the late 2000s to discuss a potential Aldi's to acquire a grocery business or lease the subject space at a minimum. 23 years this has been going on. Unbelievable. It was a positive meeting as Aldi gave serious consideration to the location for several years to follow, but could never make the final commitment. Tony has been very persistent over the past 12 to 15 years in an effort to be sure I knew of every potential development opportunity in the village and how Bartlett has the right place for Aldi to build their next new store. We frequently met at ICSC events. What is that, Tony? Okay, to discuss all things Bartlett, and Tony would check in regularly to get an update on all these expansion plans. Fast forward to 2021 when Aldi committed to a relocation of their Streamwood store on Irving Park Road, and they finally agreed it was time for a Bartlett store. The next day I reached out to Tony with an update, and with 24 hours, he made sure I was reconnected with Manny Rafita and focused on perfecting a deal at the streets of Bartlett. It's been an interesting negotiation at times with ownership, but again, Tony has been there to manage our expectations along the way. And for that, and my Aldi team is grateful. And believe me, the village of Bartlett is grateful also. Thank you very much, Tony. And your team also.
What a great segue. Would you mind giving us an update on the Aldi? Madam Planning and Development Director?
Thank you, Mayor. I am excited to announce that Aldi submitted their development application last Wednesday. I am currently, as well as all of technical staff, reviewing the plans. We anticipate bringing it before you, the second Village Board Committee of the Whole, in March, and hopefully have a public hearing before the Planning and Zoning Commission in April.
Yay.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Exciting.
I know that staff put hundreds of hours in combined, including Scott and Paula and Christy and Public Works and everybody that was involved. Thank you guys for all your hard work putting that together.
Well, you know, in addition to that, the negotiations are mermaid.
Yep.
You know,
It was a fun ride.
yeah.
But thank you, Tony, for all your efforts. That's really, really great, the persistence that you put into that. Good things can come out from out of ICSC, even though it is in Vegas once in a while. All right.
And
All right, anybody else have questions or anything for staff?
Administrator. Don't forget Paula. She did a lot also. Everybody did.
I think the timing of the construction was interesting since we've been talking about this. Maybe you could share a little light with us on that also?
They're hoping to break ground by the end of May and would like to be ideally open before Thanksgiving of this year.
Yay.
So it's very aggressive. I'm very happy that our building division manager has reviewed 3 previous Aldis, so he's very familiar with their plans and expects that permitting process to go smoothly.
Good. Thank you.
Will there
That
be
brings us, unless anybody, go ahead, Joe.
Will there be renderings made available to the public once approved?
Yeah, renderings, we'll have all kinds of pictures.
Yes, they've submitted building elevations as part of their development application.
Excellent, thank you.
You will see a preview of it tonight when there's a social media post on the village's Facebook page.
Did I hear correctly that this is their newest and latest and greatest building, and they're going to use this as their platform for going forward?
Yes, it is. That is what we have been told. So this is the example they plan to show for everyone going forward.
Good, good. Anyone else? All right. That brings us to our town hall portion of the meeting. If anyone would like to address the board, kindly step up to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and try to keep your comments to 3 minutes, Palmer.
First off, thanks for the reappointment to the Bike and Run. It's a pleasure to continue to be involved in our village. I really enjoy it. But that's not what I really wanted to do. What I wanted to do is shout out to the police department. Congratulations on their National Night Out. But I wanted to drag someone name from the past. I was just in 94, 95 when I was sitting there, but then when the sergeant said it's going to be 30-year anniversary, but I had it in 93. Then, Crime Prevention Officer Joe Leonis came to everybody with an idea to peripherally, but, he kind of really took the bull by the horns, got things going, got on Channel 7 the first year, and then it just kind of went from there, so. Joe was crime prevention officer, rose up to deputy chief here, and is now, the police chief in Lincolnshire for the last 6 years. I want to give Joe a shout out.
Yeah.
And congratulations to the police department.
Yeah. Thank you, Dan. Yeah, that is really cool. Anyone else like to address the board at this time? Chris, do we have anyone online? Go ahead, Bruce.
There is no one indicating they want to speak.
Okay. We have one more in here. Mr. Suffern? Yes.
Can you please turn on the mic?
How's that? The mic on now? 316 Oak Brook Court. Okay. So I did want to come and thank the board for your hard work and your open-mindedness in pursuing growth in Bartlett. It's really exciting to own a business being managed the way you're managing it. So thank you. I also want to thank the staff under the management of Paula. With the communication that we have now with the business community is unparalleled. Having been around the block, Scott and Tony interacting with the business community as they are, just well done. You know, we really, as a business community, feel like we're on the same page. So thank you. 2 things to consider. Just consider. More brewing opening. I went to all the zoning hearings and was in favor of it universally. Parking was an issue. Even with the construction now and the popularity of what's going on with Le Petit and at Banbury Fair, what we're seeing is that parking, and I know we're expanding the parking to the south, and I know we're encouraging people to park at the commuter parking lot, which is a great plan, and I think it'll work. I really do. I just want to make sure that the signage to encourage people park there and to let them know that it's okay to park there be reviewed. I know you have some new signs by the parking lot that says that it's free, but believe me, people who are visiting here for the first time don't see it.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I've had so many people say, I can actually park there? They don't really see it at all.
Right. And for more brewing to be the success and for downtown Bartlett to enjoy the success that's going to come with that, signage really needs to be reviewed, please. The other thing to consider, please, would be, I know West Bartlett Road and 59 is getting torn up and redone. And that's such a beautiful corridor coming down West Bartlett Road there with the banners and the baskets and everything. But that ugly wall that we have there that's not landscaped is just an embarrassment, I think, to the town. And I know there are restrictions because it's the state of Illinois or whatever it might be. But I really think some thought and study should be given to some kind of a landscaped entrance signage there as well.
You can look into that, yeah. I know we've talked about it in the past, but certainly. Yeah.
Thank you.
Great points.
Thanks.
Thank you, Bruce. Anyone else like to address the board at this time? No one online, Chris?
No, sir.
All right, moving on to standing committee reports. First standing committee report is Building and Zoning Committee, Chairman Hopkins.
Thank you, President Wallace. There is one item on our agenda, and it was covered under the consent.
Thank you, Chairman Hopkins. Community and Economic Development Committee, Chairman Gansey.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have one item, and it's continuing with the work it took the village to bring Aldi to Bartlett. We have a Site E purchase amendment. The village has continued working diligently with Mr. Rafidia of MMAJ LLC in the sale of the village-owned 1.87-acre parcel at the southwest corner of Railroad Avenue and Berto, commonly referred to as Opportunity Site E per the Downtown TOD plan. As the village's economic development team continue meeting and negotiating with representatives of Aldi in an effort to facilitate a land lease for the site at Streets of Bartlett Shopping Center, the sale of this key downtown parcel became part of it. In an effort to induce MMAJ LLC to enter into a land lease with Aldi, the village offered a reduction in the sale price of Site E. This not only facilitates attracting Aldi to downtown Bartlett, but will assist MMAJ LLC in moving forward with the construction of the Residences of Bartlett Station, a 5-story, 90-unit apartment building. I am now going to pass it to our village attorney to talk about the amendment to the amendment.
Amendment to the amendment.
So, an amendment to an amendment. Because this involves the sale of village property, it requires any agreements related to the property owned by the village, which is the Bartlett Station site, be approved by ordinance. And the original agreement was approved by ordinance. There have been 2 amendments. This is the 3rd amendment. And effectively, it is tied to the Aldi agreement. And there was an agreement to reduce the purchase price. That was in the board packet. There's also a development agreement that was approved as part of that ordinance. And there's a provision in that agreement that says once we close, if they don't begin construction within a certain amount of time, we can buy it back. I didn't want it. The old agreement said we'd buy it back for $350,000. Well, we're going to sell it for $100,000. We don't want to pay $350,000 for it. So I made that change, but we were on the phone with all these attorneys and Mr. Rafidia's attorneys on Friday at 4, and it went out, and Mr. Rafidia's attorneys made changes just in case it doesn't happen. If they pay the full $350,000, they want to be paid back the full $350,000. So it's really a housekeeping matter. It was just, there was a lot of chicken egg. All they didn't want to sign unless, they intend to execute the ground lease within the next couple of days. Staff has told you they've made their zoning submittal. They've moved forward, but some of the legal descriptions and the actual size lot is a little bigger. The original in the letter of intent was 20,000 square feet. This is 33,000 square feet portion of the shopping center. So that is in what you have. So you have an ordinance. You have on the dais red line of the changes, and I just didn't want to, I want you to see that and know that that's what's being approved with these red line changes, and I have no objection to them.
So essentially, it's a dollar for dollar. If they buy it for $100, we buy it back for $100. If they buy it for $350, we buy it back for $350.
Correct. Yeah. And I don't anticipate that being a problem at all. They're chopping at the bit to get going on apartments before Aldi's gone through the whole process, and so it's really related to that. And Aldi's on a very aggressive time schedule, and so this is all going to happen fast. But Aldi will come back probably, I would anticipate at the next meeting, an economic incentive agreement that we've discussed, that we circulated agreement to all these attorneys. But that agreement, nothing presupposes that you will approve of the zoning. It's a normal process, and that's what the agreements say. So the ordinance before you is the same. The agreements, the legal descriptions that you received in your board packet, that's all the same. Only the red line changes you see on the dais are the difference. But The agreement that will be signed will be the ones with the redlining changes.
Go ahead. You need to make a motion?
I move to approve ordinance 2023-13, an ordinance approving the Third Amendment to real estate sale and purchase agreement between the Village of Bartlett and MMAJ LLC.
Second.
Moved by trustee Gansey, seconded by trustee Daney. Is there any additional discussion? That's great.
Yes, right.
Give Joe a minute. Hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Swansky?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
Gunstein?
Yes.
Hopkins?
Yes.
Laporte?
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you, Chairman Gansey. Next item we have is Finance and Golf Committee, Chairman Daney.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have two items on the agenda. C1 is the auditor selection, and C2 was a computer replacement program purchase, which was covered under consent. The C1, it is the Finance Department sent out hang on. Now, let's start here. The Village of Bartlett has used Lauterbach and Amon LLP to conduct the village's audit since 2015. At the November 2nd, 2021 Village Board meeting, it was suggested by the board that the village look into changing audit firms since the village has been with Lauterbach and Amon for 7 years at that time. The village of Bartlett contacted Lauterbach and I missed it. It's gone. Lauterbach and Amon for the village of Bartlett contract with Lauterbach and Amon ended after the most recent fiscal year 2022 audit. On January 3rd, 2023, we sent out 11 requests for proposals to audit firms for a 3-year contract. We only received back 2 proposals by January 31st deadline, one being a reduced price from Lauterbach and Amon, and the other being Schick LLP. Schick was the Village's of Bartlett's auditor for 8 years prior to Lauterbach and Amon. Lauterbach and Amon's total 3-year proposal came in at $125,590, which is $7,850 less than Schick's proposal of $133,440. Schick's proposal does not include the cost of implementing any new GASB accounting pronouncements, which could add around another $2,000 to $4,000 to the yearly price. Both audit firms have extensive government auditing experience, including the GFOA Certificate of Achievement of Excellence in Financial Reporting. Both firms are more qualified to be the auditor of the Village of Bartlett. Despite the higher price, staff recommended that they award the contract, that the contract be awarded to Schick LLP as a 3-year price of $133,440,000 plus additional costs relating to implementing the new GASB accounting pronouncements. This recommendation is based on the premise that it is a good practice to rotate auditing firms to ensure objectivity and have a fresh set of eyes look at the village financials. With that, I move to that the village award a 3-year contract to Schick. I'm saying that incorrectly. Right. LLP, well, you know what it is, right? At a total cost of $133,440 plus costs related to implementing the new GASB pronouncements for the annual financial auditing services.
Have a second?
Second.
Moved by trustee Daney, seconded by trustee Swansky. Is there any discussion?
Yes, I have some.
Me too.
I kind of am a little reluctant to move because of the fact that we're looking at almost $8,000 increase in price, and our current auditing firm has come in with a lower bid of $125,590, and also we're talking about almost $8,000 less. But now we have to look at the fact that we could have $2,000 to $4,000 yearly increase for the for the pronouncements that, that they may have to go through. And I'd like to ask Todd if he could address that for me.
Yeah, part of the increase is that when we switch auditors, then they have new startup fees, or new startup takes time to get the system in place. So our current auditors, Lauterbach and Amon, they do have already the systems in place, and so it would be just continuing to go. But when we take on new auditors, they have to do reviews to see what types of audit, how they need to audit different situations. They were with us 8 or 9 years ago, Sikich, but things have changed since then, our financial reports, so they would have to do the full report. There are different audit firms. They do things different ways. They bill different ways. We've been happy with both firms.
Now, what would be easier on staff as far as moving forward with this?
Well, as far as staff is concerned, it's easier to keep. We've know how Lauterbach and Amon works, and we've got our processes set up to work with what they are looking for each audit. And so we've been working with them over the last number of years. So that's what we're. You get comfortable with that.
What are some things a fresh set of eyes would look at?
Well, it's different people. Different people looking at the same kind of things, but they're going to pick up different things and they're going to have different priorities.
Haven't we been successful with the current firm we have right now?
We've worked well with the current firm. The current firm has been happy with us. That's why they bid on keeping us as business.
What I'm having a problem with is, we have everything in place right now, and I would like to just go forward with an additional 3-year contract and reevaluate in 3 years. We're talking about, could possibly be $20,000 just to change the accounting firm, and everything's in place right now and everything's working well. I would just like to continue it for another 3 years.
Trustee Daney brought up the financial aspects of it. Could we go to Skiddage? Is that how you? Sikich. And ask them to reduce their fees to the lowest bidder?
They know what Lauterbach and Amon charges. It's a public record. They see what they charged. If they wanted to go below that,
Well, this was a closed bid, right? So they didn't know it was a sealed bid?
Well, they've known what we've paid them over the years.
Yeah.
Can we ask?
I think we should just at least ask to reduce the fee, and then we can reevaluate it.
I have a couple questions. First off, for my own knowledge, what does GASB stand for?
That's the Government Accounting Standards Board.
Okay.
You didn't know that?
GASB.
Sorry, I didn't. You didn't either.
Forever.
Is that cost included in Lauterbach every year?
Their fees encompass the new pronouncements that come out, yes.
Okay. And the Skitch price is, the new company, is $7,000 plus or minus, with almost $12,000 over a 3-year period. So you're looking at about a $20,000 increase.
Right.
Do you have any issues with the current auditors that you're
We do not have any issues with the current auditors. The only reason why we are looking to change auditors was because it was recommended that we change auditors.
Is there any municipal law that requires us to change auditors after a certain period of time?
There is not.
Okay.
No, but it is common practice that
The best practice, just a fresh set of eyes in an audit situation.
Yeah, it's common practice.
It's important to
governmental.
looking at it from a different perspective.
But I don't see why we have to change right now. I think it could be reevaluated in 3 years. I just don't feel like spending the $20,000.
Well, I think the board brought it up.
I know we did.
Does it have to be a 3-year contract?
We didn't know it was there was that difference of a price.
Renee. Trustee Sawanski asked if it has to be a 3-year contract.
Well, and Todd, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think a 3-year contract, when you talk about the setup and working with a audit company, 3 years is a good kind of a sweet spot time frame.
Yeah, 3 years is the minimum if you're taking on a new firm.
Can we expect the price to go down then in year 2 and 3?
No, this is for the three.
Oh, it's for the 3, okay.
So how long have we had Lauterbach?
About 8 years.
Okay.
So it started in 2015 was the first audit.
And how long did we have
Sikich.
before that?
We were with them, I think it was 8 years before that.
So is it really an anticipation that there would be such a learning curve to come back up to speed for our village? If they've, 8 years, but is
extra
that,
cost?
is 8 years a huge amount of time? That they would have completely lost?
Yeah, every bond, they have to review all the bond issues, and there's been a number of different changes in the financial reporting since they were our auditors.
I would also suggest that to Trustee Daney's recommendation, staying with Lauterbach for 3 years and going to rebid it after those 3 years, we may get a better, more robust response to our audit request. When I was at the conference a couple weeks ago on Tuesday, this was a big discussion amongst the managers that we're unable to find competitive bids for auditing firms. And so it's not just Bartlett that's facing that. I think it's a function of the economy and being able to have enough auditing staff to send out to municipalities. So buying us some time may improve the bid horizon too.
Is Lauterbach's price contingent on a 3-year contract?
It is based on a 3-year contract.
So if we can get better pricing a couple of years from now, prior to the 3 years being up, maybe we are better off waiting.
I don't believe you're going to get better pricing.
More response though, right?
You would get more of a response, but I don't believe the prices are going to go down. Like the last time that we went out for proposals, we had 11 responses, and this time just the 2 because of.
But we don't know that for sure, so, I would just like to see it go for another 3 years and reevaluate it at that point in time. None of us have a crystal ball. We don't know specifically what the situation.
When is the contract up?
3 years.
No, when is this contract?
Well, it was up.
Our contract ended with the 22 audit.
It's already done, okay.
Yeah, it's already up.
So what was the concern at the November 2nd, 2021 village board meeting that prompted us to want to look into changing audit firms? And why are we reinventing?
I don't think there was any.
Why are we changing? Why are we changing the tone?
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I don't think there was any specific concern. I just think that some of the stories in the past, I think everyone remembers Dixon, Illinois, and the auditors were too comfortable with the town. They'd been with the audit firm for 25 years, though that's a little different than.
If I remember correctly, it was just a thought that we had because somebody had talked about another set of eyes looking at it, which we did. It's here in front of us. But I didn't expect to see this increase, a $20,000 increase. I didn't expect to see that at all. I'm telling you that right now. And that's why I feel very strongly that we should just stay put and reevaluate this in 3 years. We've looked at it. 3 years.
I agree with Paula too, like if we can get more proposals to come in.
Yeah.
I think that I agree that I would like to see a change at some point so that we do have that fresh set of eyes. I think that's a prudent, fiscally responsible move to make. However, we do have another major contract that's coming up that we're going to be having some changes on in the very near future, and maybe we should have some consistency with the auditing firm.
You think? I mean, you're the chair. I agree with both sides in some manners. I mean, it's good to have a fresh set of eyes. They've been the same people for 8 years. There's nothing wrong with changing. And the grand scheme of things, the $12,000 over 3 years is not a big number. I think we're splitting hairs a little bit. But if the board wants to stick with who we have for the next 3 years, then hopefully get some better bids when we come back 3 years from now, then we can do it that way, that's fine.
It's not only the 12 grand, it's the potential of having another $8,000 added to a total of $20,000.
Over 3 years.
Yeah, but, you know, everybody's happy, the village is happy, the staff is happy, you know, they're working together, everything is fine. Let's reevaluate it, give them a 3-year contract, let's move on. Or renew the contract.
Well, what are,
You know, if I were,
what are we voting on then? We're voting on Lauterbach?
the motion is to move the contract. So in order to change that, we would have to vote no.
Okay. And then what happens if we vote no?
Then we enter into a new contract, we renew the
That would have
contract
to come back
that we
to the board,
currently
right?
have.
But the new contract with Lauterbach would have to come back to the board.
Yes.
Right,
Is that correct?
right.
I would, just motion to approve that their amount is, listed here in the memo that you can use.
I didn't hear that.
There are proposals in there.
All right, I can amend the motion, I'll say that, we reject the motion that's on the floor, and, we amend it to accepting the contract, renewing the existing contract, renewing the contract that we have with our current auditor. Need a second on that.
Can we get a second?
What,
Can you say it one more time?
yeah, can you say?
Let me clear this up, because this chair is going out of control. So what we're going to try to do is we're just going to try to renew the contract we have, the existing contract we have with the existing audit firm for another 3 years at the bid that they supplied us.
Okay.
Been moved by trustee Daney, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay.
Moved by trustee Daney, seconded by trustee Gansey. Is there any additional discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll?
What are we voting on?
We're going with
Renewing this contract.
The existing company.
Keeper of one.
Right.
Lauterbach.
Lauterbach and Amen.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
Gunstein?
Yes.
Hopkins?
Yes.
Lepore?
Yes.
Swansky?
Yes.
That motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. President, that's all, I have at this time.
Is that what we did? All right. Thank you, Chairman Daney. License and Ordinance Committee Chairman Gunstein.
Thank you, Mr. President. Item number 1 was covered under consent.
Thank you, Chairman Gunstein. Police and Health Committee Chairman Swansky.
Thank you, President Wallace. We have nothing to report this evening.
Thank you, Chairman Swansky. Public Works Committee Chairman Laporte.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have one item on the agenda, and it is covered under consent.
Thank you, Chairman Laporte. New business, we do have a couple items of new business. We're getting ahead of the ball game here with More Brewing's license for liquor. So J-Dub Brew, Inc., doing business as More Brewing, has submitted all their paperwork. Everything looks in order for a Class Q liquor license request. Obviously, it won't be issued until they have a letter of occupancy, but I intend on signing that unless anybody has any issues with the license going to J-Dub Brew.
Nope.
No.
Next item we have is Bratz Place. Bratz was recently in negotiations for different ownership, so we're issuing a new Class A liquor license at the request of the petitioner. The new liquor license is a little different than the old one. It's actually a 2 a.m. All the paperwork's in order. It all looks good. If there's no objections, I intend on signing that liquor license also. All right, any other new business anybody would like to discuss? Hearing none, questions and answers. Just so everybody knows, we will be adjourning the Committee of the Whole meeting. After the Committee of the Whole meeting, we are adjourning to discuss appointment of legal counsel pursuant to Section 2C1 of the Open Meetings Act. If there's no additional questions for staff, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the board.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by trustee Daney, seconded by trustee Hopkins. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Gansey?
Yes.
Gunstein?
Yes.
Hopkins?
Yes.
Lepore?
Yes.
Swansky?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
We are adjourned. Session to discuss appointment of legal counsel pursuant to Section 2C1 of the Open Meetings Act.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by trustee Daney, seconded by trustee Gunstein. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
Gunstein?
Yes.
Hopkins?
Yes.
Laporte?
Yes.
Swansky?
Yes.
We are adjourned to executive session.